Here. So today we're covering Boyum CRM for Outlook. Um, Normally these tips and tricks are really for SAP Business One tips and tricks, but once in a while we have a little add-on that we stick in, and Boyum has a lot of really nice products. So this will be about maybe 20 minutes to 30 minutes long. And for those who know Boyum, we have a B1 Up, the usability package, print and delivery. They have iPayment, but CRM for Outlook is a link. It's kind of a bridge between your Outlook and your SAP that Jean-Sébastien is going to show to us. He's one of our consultants. So Jean-Sébastien, thanks for having us. And I just ask everybody if you can just mute. And if you have questions, there's a dialogue box. And we'll just go with that. So it's all yours, GS. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Pretty excited to show you this new little plugin from Boyum, CRM for Outlook. So we'll get right into it. So CRM for Outlook, what is it and what does it do? So it's quite a simple little plugin. It's essentially a bridge between Outlook and SAP Business One. It provides, helps you access your SAP data from Outlook. There's a synchronization of SAP activities and your Outlook calendar. You're able to add and update AR document records and business partner information from inside of Outlook. You have some basic KPIs for your business partners as well, available from Outlook. And for those that also have the Boyum add-on B1 Up, there is some advanced dashboard functionality available within Outlook as well. So I'm actually going to get away from the PowerPoint presentation and we're going to go right into Outlook. There we go. So if I look here, I have an email from Tracy. You may notice that as soon as I click on my email from Tracy, there's a tab here in my Outlook that gets added once you add CRM for Outlook, and it says Parameter Technology. If I click on it here, you'll see that I already have quite a bit of detail from that customer. I can see their balance, I can see which customer group they're part of, I can see some contact info here, etc. If you're wondering how SAP knows that, Tracy is associated to this account, if I open up my SAP here and I look at that customer parameter technology, we'll see that in the contact persons, I have created Tracy and it's doing the link here from the email address. Similarly, when I was doing some of my testing, I assigned myself. And we can see right here, when I highlight my own email, it says MaxiTech Construction, and same thing here. If I go into find mode, MaxiTech, we'll see that I've added myself here with jsroy@forgestic.com. So from the Outlook tab, I'm going to go back to Tracy's email. So from here, like I was saying, obviously we can see the BP balance right here. We have some quick KPIs. We can see sales opportunities, etc. This usually shows your top 5 items. Let me just go to my customer here so that we can see that.
Hey, GS, can I ask a little question?
Of course.
For the KPIs, do you need B1 Up or?
Nope, the KPIs is out of the box. Those are actually the KPIs from SAP. So nope, those KPIs and this little top 4 sold items here actually works within, it takes it from SAP. Now, if you want to dig a little further, if you happen to have SAP installed, you're able to drill down further into this guy by clicking on your KPIs here. This should open. There we go. So see, by clicking on the KPI, it'll actually open up the sales analysis report in SAP ready to go with the business partner that you select.
Okay, good. I just wanted to know because I know that the CRM for Outlook is a standalone, but I know that if somebody has any of the other Boyum products that you'd probably see more things. I'll let you get into that, but I was just curious. I hadn't seen that one this morning when we did the French session.
No.
Okay, good.
That's a great question. So if I go back to my email from Tracy, And so Tracy here is asking me, can you confirm you received my order this morning? So we can certainly look at that. Same thing here, if I click on parameter technology, it essentially opens up a bit of a snapshot of what you would see in SAP. So here I can even go to the contacts and addresses tab, see what my properties are, etc. Just to show you a little something here, the updates are live. So for example, if I change this phone number to 0118 and I go save and close, and I go into my SAP and I go find parameter. And we can see here that the telephone is updated, and this does work both ways. Let's say I set this back to 0114 and I click update. There's about a 1 or 2 minute delay between the time the full update happens in Outlook. But as you can see here, if I click away and click back in, even though it's still saying 0118 here, I click on this guy, it has updated it to 0114. It takes about a minute until it does the full update. So in this case, Tracy is asking me, can you confirm that you received my order? Let me know if you can drop by my office next Monday. So obviously from here, I can look at all the recent orders, essentially all the orders for the customer. If I click on the order here, I can see the details. I can even open it in B1 Client from here if I have SAP installed locally. So if I click on that here, it actually opens the sales order for me in SAP. Now, even if you don't have SAP installed, you can actually still make modifications. Let's say I'm the rep and I go into here and I'm saying, you know what, Tracy needs to order 12. So change this to 12. Save and close. That was sales order 785. If I go back in here now and I click refresh, boom, my quantity is changed to 12. So a couple other little things here. If you click on the address, you can have a map here. And if I click on the map, it'll actually open it up in Google Maps. So what I'd like to do now is what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an activity from this email in SAP. And subsequently, this will also create a meeting in Outlook. So from this email here on the SAP tab, I can simply go create new activity. And Tracy wants me to visit her next Monday. So that is going to be the 14th. She said 10 a.m., but I think I got something at 10 a.m. So I'm going to put this for 11 a.m. This. I can also link a document. So here I can say this is related to sales order. Then when you click select here, you only see the sales orders for that customer, obviously, like that in general. And I'm just going to rename this. Say, my subject, and I'm going to go save and close. And now if I go to SAP here, and I open up my activities, and I go to the last activity created. There we go. We see the activity that we just created here. It's going to take a few minutes until we see it show up on the Outlook email. So in the meantime, just to kind of show you how the synchronization does work, I'm going to add myself a note in the activity in SAP. Right, go update like this. And then before long, we should see that appear on my calendar for the 14th. And it's going to take a few minutes to show up here. It's just going to do a sync. It's updating the calendar now. While we're waiting for this to
that one at
happen.
10 was the one from the webinar this morning.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to look in my calendar over the last few days, I probably have like 75 meetings with you, but did quite a bit of testing. So again, here, you can create sales orders as well, right? So you have the opportunity to create a sales order from scratch. So obviously, if you start from an email highlighted, it knows already that, it's for this business partner. Again, you can go to your logistics tab. You can even decide which user-defined fields you want to show within the sales order dialog when you go into create new. You can even start moving columns around and stuff like that. So you almost have your own sense of form settings, etc. So So it's actually a pretty cool tool. Let's go see if the calendar has updated.
Hang on here, Jess. I've got a question from Shauna. She says, what version
Sure.
of SAP Business One do you need to be operating? And can you link to an opportunity of a business partner? That you can. The
Yeah.
opportunity, I'll let you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just see if this is, so here we go. We have our visit here, right? So the activity that I created essentially from CRM for Outlook did two things. It went to create the activity in SAP that we saw here. And I added this little note here, don't forget to bring new brochures. And now if I open that meeting, I have that in my Outlook as well. It's going to take a few seconds until it repopulates the add brochures. It's going to be a second sync. That.
For the version,
Yeah.
Jess, for the version question on, I don't think you don't have to be on 9.3. I think you could probably be on any of the nines, right?
Yeah, any of the nines should work. And as for sales opportunities, yes, absolutely. They are part of what you have here. So you have sales opportunities. So everything I was showing for orders, can apply to quotations, AR invoices. This typically doesn't apply to reps or CRM, but you could even, the copy to function, like when you copy a quote to an order or even an order to a delivery, you can in fact do that with the right authorizations right from Outlook as well.
Right. So this is really good for someone who's in sales on the road and doesn't want to necessarily go into his SAP. He can operate it from here, but from his Outlook. But somebody who's doing collection, let's say, someone who's in administration could always use their Outlook for flags to just follow up on certain customers, if there were problems or anything, right?
Yeah. You might be noticing the flickering here. That's because of the 75 meetings I've created in the last few days to test these functions. But
Right.
as you can see here, my don't forget to bring new brochures is now added to the meeting in CRM in Outlook. Now, once I can, if I need to make further modifications, I can actually open this meeting. From the Outlook meeting, I can open the activity within CRM, right? And then I can add more notes here. Boom.
But the activity and the opportunity are two different tabs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. I mean, the sales opportunity would not behave this way. So the sales opportunity wouldn't necessarily create the activity. So for it to do the calendar syncing, it does work with activities, not sales opportunities.
Okay.
But you do have the opportunity to view and or create, edit sales opportunities from within Outlook with this tool as well.
Okay. And Shauna has another question. She's asking if it works with the mobile app.
That is a great question. Unfortunately, it does not work with the mobile app. Actually, let me clarify that. If you're talking about the SAP Business One mobile app, yes. So just to kind of clarify, the syncing works both ways as well, and we can look at that later. If you create an activity in SAP, it also creates a meeting in Outlook. So if somebody were to go create an activity in the SAP Business One mobile app, yes, as long as everything is synced properly, that will create the meeting in Outlook as well. If you're referring to the Outlook mobile app, i.e., is the functionality I'm showing you here available for Outlook on iPhone or Android? The answer, unfortunately, is for now, no. Boyum is working. Yeah, so Boyum is working on it. They've gotten tons of requests for it. As soon as they launched it, people started asking for it. Obviously, it's a bit more complex to make it work for the mobile, but it is something they're working on. So no promises or timeline, but it is something they're definitely aware of.
Okay. And Shauna, you know what? Why don't you feel free to unmute your mic because you have a lot of questions. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Hang on here. Can I unmute?
I think I only have one last one, which was when you actually assign an activity to another user,
yeah,
I assume that will upload into the assignee's Outlook.
Yes, it will. Yes. Okay. And again, some of this stuff, like depending, because they're syncing both ways, I don't want to get too much into it on this call, but there are quite a few settings to kind of set, like is SAP the master or is Outlook your master, etc. But yes, what you just said there is definitely possible. It's just a matter of configuring it properly.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right.
So here, what I just wanted to show is if I, modify kind of this again here, I ask Tracy about her vacation. I go save and close like this. Get rid of this here. Just choose my customer again, this parameter technologies, that. And if I go to my SAP now, I'll see that. And see, I have the update here. So as I was saying, it does work both ways. And similarly, during the call this morning, Tracy was kind of asking, well, what if somebody actually does work more in SAP? Can they do the opposite? And you certainly can. So from here, you can go create activity, of course, like that. Let's see. And we'll do this, whoops. We'll do this one at 1 p.m. That. Change this to the 14th. That. Let's see. And we're going to say to 13:30. That. Content, and then add like this. And again, it'll take a few seconds, but before long, we're going to see our new activity for Tracy around the 1:30 mark on the 14th. So any other questions, anything high level that anybody has, additional questions we may have about this before we kind of move into the pricing?
I do have one, Sebastian. If you look at earlier, you said that the SAP has to be installed locally, to be able to
Yes.
drill down in the tab on the top. But let's say someone like me who works from home and I'm on an external server.
I haven't tested it on an external server. All the documentation from Boyum does specifically mention a local installation.
Okay.
It'd be something to look at. I'm quite confident that with a published app, it should be possible, because a published app is essentially like Windows does see it as its own little software, essentially the way it's viewed. So I think it could work. It would be something to verify 100%.
Okay, we could. Okay, good. Thanks. So if
Now,
anybody has any questions, go ahead. All right. Okay, sounds good.
And see, my new
showed up.
Yeah, exactly. So it really does work both ways.
Right.
Yeah, it syncs both ways. Yeah.
So basically, it's just it's just easy. It's your calendar. It's not like it's not a big demo of an add-on. That's this is basically simple. So anybody who needs his Outlook, I think the synchronizing is really nice. And it's.
Again, if I change this to an hour, again, before long, as soon as the next update happens, after we look at the pricing, we'll see that this will change to a full hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So for pricing, we have there's two options. So you can purchase it. It's 149 USD per user, plus your maintenance, or you could take the subscription. And the subscription, what I gave here was like 6 USD per user per month, but they actually have different prices. Like you can get a subscription for 3 years, which is $6 a month. If you take 2 years, it's $7 a month. If you take 1 year, it's $8. And you could also take a quarter of a year, which is $10. So if somebody just wants to test it out with 1 or 2 users, and then if you want it, you can just either cancel it and buy it, or, but when it comes out in the subscription, the maintenance is included in it. So there is a difference, you see, with the purchase versus the maintenance that you're paying. So obviously in the subscription, it's more, you're paying for more, but your maintenance is included. So if somebody knows that they're going to want this, like after a few years, it will be less expensive if you buy it, but somebody could try it out for like a quarter year or for a year just to see with a few users if it's worth the while, but It's a really nice, that's a nice product. And for those who use Boyum, who have other products like the usability package, B1 Up, I think you had some things to add on to that, GS, too, because I
Yep.
think you have more options with it if you're
You
using
do.
both.
So yeah, you definitely do. So a quick comment on the subscription too, the subscription mode. If you have, say, if this is something you want to try for a few of your employees before rolling it out to everybody, that's also a great way to do it. And yes, as for the additional capabilities, there is great synergy between the B1 Up add-on and all the other Boyum products. Specifically for these two, you're basically able to use all the dashboard capabilities of B1 Up inside of Outlook. So you can start designing some pretty customized dashboards, graphs, pie charts, etc., based on your customers, which will all be accessible within your Outlook. So anybody that is familiar with B1 Up or universal functions, etc., it ties into that very, very well.
Okay, good, thanks. So does anybody have any other questions? As I said, it was a quick demo. It's not a long product to present, but just to let you guys know that this exists if somebody's looking for this type of a tool. And
Just we can see here that the meeting
yep,
expanded to an hour.
to an hour. Good. So if anybody has any questions, GS, if you could just put the PowerPoint back on with our contact
Of
and
course.
support. So you've got our support desk if you have any questions, but if you have any questions on this, because it's not SAP, it's an add-on, you could just send me an email at tracy@forgestic.com. And if somebody wants a demo with Boyum, I can set something up. So thanks, everybody. And our next webinar is going to be in 2 weeks on Friday. Today it was specially on a Thursday because of the short week that we had with Labor Day. So the following ones until Christmas will always be every 2 weeks on the Friday. So thanks for joining, everybody, and let us know if we can help. Have a great day. Thanks, Jess.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.